welcome to the Distinguished Educator of the Year Awards. In the College of Education, we feel this is a really special event, and we also feel really blessed that we could recognize these outstanding individuals. We invite you to sit back and enjoy learning about the many accomplishments and contributions these truly outstanding educators have made.
Dr. Sawyer is the superintendent of Harris County Department of Education. I've known John for over 25 years. And in our business, when one of your colleagues say, he or she's a good schoolman or woman, it's one of the greatest compliments in the world. And it's with great pride and sincerity I tell you, John Sawyer is a good schoolman.
The Education Foundation of Harris County nominated John Sawyer for this award in recognition of the visionary that he is. What makes the Department of Education work so beautifully, and the reason that it is the outstanding and unusual and unique force for education that it is because John's personality sets the stage. His vision is the right vision for the future, and that is why we nominated John Sawyer, because we care about these kids, we care about the future, and he is a great leader.
He knows how to administer people, also how to administer projects, how to administer school finances. And I think those are all key in our trying to keep a good organization, which I think we have, and I think which has even got better with Dr. Sawyer here.
He came to Harris County Department of Education, and the department has just flourished with so many new ideas, and it's just been absolutely a joy to have someone with such energy and such chemistry.
I think Dr. Sawyer is one of the most creative, innovative leaders I've had the opportunity to work with. He inspires each of us to be the best we can be, and if we need resources, our door's opened, he's there to do that. Otherwise, he lets us do our work and applauds us when we do it well.
He just wants everybody to feel as though they have tremendous self-worth, and that's important to him. That's the type of person Dr. Sawyer is first.
He could have been anything he wanted to be. He was a National Merit Scholar when he got out of high school, and he chose education, and we're lucky he chose it.
I grew up thinking I wanted to be a physician. I trained myself that way in high school. I actually entered pre-med at the university. Somewhere along the way, I lost my enthusiasm for that. And I just decided that I would like to work with kids.
And he really does cater to the clients. He's a client-oriented person. He serves kids extremely well. And he serves the community. He's always looking for ways to make schools safe, schools better and more challenging for kids. So sort of a cutting-edge kind of person.
And you could discuss school finance with him. You can discuss curriculum and instruction. You can discuss discipline. And he absolutely, I would tell you, he is an expert in all areas.
Very bright, very articulate, very people-oriented, dedicated to education for all the right reasons, kids. He's one of the top educators in the state, and there's no question about that. He's a heck of a guy to go hunting and fishing with if you get the opportunity.
Everybody feels comfortable working together. It's a family environment. It's a great team. But the bottom line is, it's fun to come to work.
I don't think I've ever had a job I didn't like. Now, I will not tell you I haven't ever had a job that I didn't grow weary of. Some jobs, sap you more than other jobs. If you look back, what you'll see is until 12 years ago, I hardly ever stayed in the same job role more than about 3 years. I didn't necessarily move, but I changed my job role over and over because, I really am not real excited about things that are routine all the time. I just don't have a lot of fun with that. And it's a prerequisite for me to have a little fun while you're working, and otherwise, why would you go? So I have been blessed here to have a job that is very creative. It's the job that every other school superintendent wishes theirs was like. Because in our organization, assuming you can find some funding to make it happen, it's always a challenge, and you, as you know, have a little background in working with that. So, you get to dream a dream, and you get to look for the things that you always wanted to do and focus on, you never had time to do because you were busy putting out fires all the time. And that's the nature, unfortunately, of the job. This job gives you a lot more opportunity to dream, and I really do enjoy that. And I've been blessed to have a great board and a wonderful staff, so it makes dreaming a lot easier that way.
Brown has been a bilingual teacher at Francone for, I believe, about 25 years. She has taught pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, and is just a wonderful teacher.
I like the things to do because they're fun. You can go to science and play with the snow.
25 years is a long time to be anywhere, and I can hardly believe that it's been 25 years. Every year is different. Children are different. The staff is different every year. Every year there seems to be a new focus. Sometimes I focus on reading, on math. Every year has a new goal.
She puts her whole life into teaching. She is really sought after throughout the state of Texas because of her expertise.
When we began to teach together many, many years ago, I saw this young, energetic, vivacious, fun teacher in the classroom. And today I see the same teacher many years later.
I didn't start out to be a teacher. When I went to Sam Houston, I was going to be in speech therapy. But I decided to take Spanish instead of math at the college, and fell in love with Dr. Maria Jimenez, who was a teacher at that time. And she taught us with passion, great passion, about her culture and her language, and also taught to us about becoming bilingual teachers. Spanish is not my first language, so I had to learn to speak Spanish, and that was a little tough. And through Sam Houston, I was able to meet Deanna Marion, who was my supervising teacher.
She's fun. She taught me the alphabet when I didn't know how to do the words, and English and Spanish, and she's pretty fun.
Jane Ann was my student teacher 25 years ago from Sam Houston. At that time, I noticed this tremendous amount of energy, dedication, enthusiasm for everything that I passed her way.
He's a nice teacher because we can go to a third center, or we can write on our journals.
Just really energizing, I think, to walk into her classroom and see the way she interacts with the students. And her really love for what she's doing is so evident in everything she does.
She's just so enthusiastic, and it spreads to everyone. Anyone that interfaces with her knows that, she is so dynamic and a positive teacher.
My father was my first, probably my first teacher. He was a wonderful lover of life. We would go outside on wonderful days, and we would look at every ant that would cross the street or cross the sidewalk, watch how the worms would move. And so it was just a natural for me.
As a bilingual educator, as a teacher, as a team player, as an advocate for children, everything that she does, I think, is making a difference in children's lives.
Miss Smith would definitely have to be one of my favorite teachers, just because I learned something in her class and because she was entertaining at the same time. Not to mention that I had her my first year in high school, which it's hard enough to make the transition for anyone from junior high to high school, and I think she just made that a lot easier on me.
I think she sees a need to work with freshmen because they are making that transition. That's a hard transition for young people, and she's willing to take the time and energy. She likes to help them make those tough decisions.
A lot of educators will phase themselves out of that incoming freshman group, but she loves to get to know the kids, and then she just loves them to death and keeps those relationships with them as they get older.
Pepper is an educator. The difference in an educator and a teacher is that the educator can actually get into the soul and the spirit of the kid. She doesn't just teach them English, she doesn't teach them poetry, she doesn't teach them the math facts or whatever. She teaches them about life.
She teaches us in a way that we can understand, treats us like adults, and doesn't just give us assignments like we're not there. She treats us, I guess, equally. Like if we give her respect, she gives us respect.
Pepper always got the job done. But she got it done in such a way that the kids didn't really realize that they were undergoing grueling kind of education, because she brings it with such love. She brings it with light, and she brings it with laughter.
She's kind of one of those people you just can't stay away from. She's so much more than a teacher, and she's been such a big help for the past 4 years. I'm kind of worried about going to college without her.
Most teachers, as you well know, you see them have ups and downs, but she never seems to have those down periods that you notice. Either she's an awful good faker or something, because she seems to mask it really well if she does. But she's always very effervescent and always so positive. But at the same time, she can gig you in such a way that you know you've been gigged, okay?
Her personality is just rather intoxicating at times. Just being around Mrs. Smith opens kids up. She just does all these wacky things which really just get us all gung-ho for what we want to do. Being near Mrs. Smith, talking with Mrs. Smith, just allows kids to really open up and get involved and get engaged in the activity that's going on. And we end up accomplishing our goals. We won state, she's won numerous academic decathlon championships. It's how she does her thing.
I'm not sure you should be paid to have fun every day, but that's what happens to me. Somebody asked me, when are you going to retire? And my answer is always the same: when it's not fun anymore. But right now, it's still fun. And there's not a single day that my kids don't make me laugh. I have awesome students. They make me laugh every day. That's worth it to me. That's worth it to me. I'm working for nothing, but it's still fun. It's still fun. That's the payoff.
If you can't have fun and the kids can't have fun while they're learning, then gosh, we're in the wrong business.
Let's face it, if you have a name like Pepper, you have a reputation to live up to. There's seasoned black pepper, there's cayenne pepper, and there's red hot chili pepper. And you're going to get all of those in this lady's classroom.
I don't think I've ever been up to this school that I haven't seen Pepper Smith at a volleyball game or a soccer game or out at the stadium watching football games. She's there. If it's important to them, it's important to her. And then what's important to her becomes important to them.
I always wanted to be a teacher. I never thought of doing anything else. Well, now when I first went to Sam Houston, I was going to be a PE major. I don't know why, I don't have a bit of athletic ability, but I was going to be a PE major, and my father told me that he wouldn't pay for me to go to school and play games. So I had to change my major. And I first went into speech and drama, and then I had a double major in English. So probably the drama comes out a lot too.
She stays perennially young. I mean, you know, she has seemed the same 35-year-old that she was when I met her for the last 30 years, really.
I like interaction. I like for students to discuss things with me. I don't expect students to raise their hand. I think spontaneous interaction is better than planned. I think you have to model. If they think that you're enjoying it and you believe it, they will too. I have kids that come back and tell me, I just saw my poetry notebook the other day. Well, that's all the reward a teacher needs, just to know that somebody kept what they did when they were in the 9th grade.
I think Pepper deserves every award she can get.
My mother was always around children. She stayed at home and she took care of other kids. She worked in a church nursery, and she was always with children, and I was always with her. So just seeing her demonstrate the love for children, that kind of guided me into knowing that I always wanted to be a teacher.
She's one of the biggest assets to McDougall, and one of the greatest finds we had when we were staffing at the very beginning, because she just really takes the role of counselor to heart, literally, and does wonderful things with the students.
She's a really nice lady, very helpful, outgoing, funny.
I taught bilingual 3rd grade education at Greenwood Forest, and then I transferred here as the school counselor. There was such a need, especially being bilingual. My students would come to me about their home life, and their parents started coming to me and talking to me about their kids, and I figured, if there's something else I can do where I can help out more children and community members and be more involved, what better way than through counseling.
And the fact that she is totally bilingual is such an asset, and she can turn around and make parents feel so comfortable by being able to communicate to them in Spanish.
She is a wonderful communicator with children and with adults. She's just made herself important at this school in so many ways, on so many levels. Not only with the children that are having difficulties, that are going through hard times, but she also challenges other children to do more, to improve themselves, to go beyond, what they've done before.
I think she's also a wonderful example for the kids. They can see the way that she holds herself and the way she presents herself to visitors, and I think that a lot of them, they love coming to her office. Her office is always full of kids.
It's wonderful here. The children come to me.
She's nice. She's really nice. She helps me with my problems. And she comes around and says we're okay in every classroom. I asked the teacher, I said, "Ma'am, please go see Miss Valerie out to see how she's doing." She has a big grin on her face and she's happy.
Whether they're happy or they're sad, they always leave a referral notice saying they just want to come and share.
And just to see the way she takes those kids under her wings, and in a way that's not condescending at all, but can lift them up and give them skills that I think will better their lives. She's not too emotionally detached. She does get involved personally. I've sat with her while she talks to me about how her heart was just broken by a story that a kid had to tell her. And I think that's one of the things that drives her to such an attitude of service, is she really cares about these kids. And she doesn't want to see them go hungry, and she doesn't want to see them go without coats. And so she pushes and finds the people to donate those things.
He's helped me with my problems, and if I'm mad, she helped me with that, helped me cool down. We had this angry pillow. We made an angry pillow, and you're mad, you hit the pillow. I might do it at home. If I'm mad, something happens there, I'll probably hit the pillow. Or I just go outside and sit down. As I've been happy for the
been having this whole year. It's been a good year this year.
The best thing I can say I take away every day when I leave here is when I see the kids, they're successful and they leave with a smile and that comfort that they know this is a safe place for them, where they're guaranteed at least 2 meals and a lot of people that support them and love them.
Hello. I know what you're thinking. She's back. Well, it's good to see you again and talk about a lady that I've learned to love and how appropriate that you are giving the very, very distinguished Sam Houston State University Friend of Education Award to my dear friend and a leader in the House of Representatives, State Representative Lois Colcourse. First of all, she's a diehard Sam Houston State supporter. She's also a great friend of public schools.
Actually, I'm a big newcomer to the education world. Kind of came out of the blue. Most people have served on public education. And in the budget, I'd spent much of my time on criminal justice, which is very appropriate, having been the representative from Huntsville. Last session, I call it a stroke of luck, but more appropriately, maybe God's blessing, that I was able to be the subcommittee chair on Article 3, which is the Article of Education.
Which is an incredible position to be in terms of crafting the state budget. You get a chance to literally put your money where your mouth is in terms of directing funds to the education community, higher education, and public education.
Public education has not been a loser, we've been a winner, generally in terms of funding in public schools. And then secondly, it's in listening. She generally wants to have meetings with people.
I think she's a naturally curious person. I think she has a curiosity about other people, and I've said this before, but she will be just as interested in talking to the chair of the Appropriations Committee as she will someone in the parking garage parking cars.
We know that we have a nursing shortage. We need to be producing more engineers, but more importantly, we need to be producing more teachers. In science and math and what we're looking at and doing 4x4, Sam Houston State University is going to play such a key role in the future of producing the needed teachers. And you know what? When we produce those teachers and we inspire the young people in Texas and in America, guess what? We don't have an engineering shortage and we don't have a nursing shortage.
I had the opportunity of knowing her back when she was in high school, back when I was coaching, and she was playing basketball and I was head boys basketball coach. She gave 110% on the floor and off the floor. Being a representative, she's doing that same thing. She's just very talented and very motivated. I don't think she ever slows down.
A lot of people don't know this. Her sister and sister-in-law are educators. So in my role here, we've probably seen 20,000 bills through the years. And a lot of times an education bill will come through and, you have lobbyists on both sides of it and advocates and constituents and all the rest, and she'll say, this bill isn't about me being, beaten in an election. This is about me being able to eat Thanksgiving dinner with these people. So it's very personal for her.
Teachers have made the biggest difference in my life. My second grade teacher, Mrs. Condra, I'll never forget what my goals were. I was going to be an Olympic athlete and a scientist and a pro golfer. And she never laughed even once. And you know what? Miss Condra just gave me wings. Life is like a painting where you have brush strokes on them. Some of the brush strokes are more bold, and you kind of notice some of the outlines or the bold brush strokes. But some are very fine and minute and almost go unnoticed. And yet without them, they would not make a complete picture. That's how I view the teachers of Texas. I know that they've allowed me to be a brushstroke on a painting, and I hope that, as subtle as it is, in the end, when we've all completed our life and we have a painting there, that I'll be some fine brushstroke on a painting, unnoticed, but that I did my part. And I know that that is true of the teachers. And so from the very bottom of my heart, thank you for all that you do. It's an honor to be named the Friend of Education. I really don't deserve this. There are thousands of people out there that are much more deserving of this. I just happen to be blessed to be in a position to do something about it. But to all the volunteers that don't get this kind of recognition, you're unnamed, and sometimes we don't even know your faces. But you are the more bold brushstrokes on those paintings. So God bless all of you, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of tonight.